So I'm going to share with you a list of 10 techniques, and then after that, we'll look at each technique and how to develop each technique. Okay. So first of all is using the right language. So having a mastery on language is the first technique. Second is using the listening technique, and using voice modulation and different voice techniques to be an effective communicator, using a structure of a speech. Then, oh, as Dr. from Nasik said, that non-verbal communication. We communicate a lot with our body language. So using body language in our communication to be an effective communicator, using facts and figures. Oh, making use of our dressing in our communication is extremely important. Even in this time when you are at home, working from home, attending seminars from home, doing meetings on video calls, your dressing and grooming is extremely important. Using a completeness as a technique, and using error-free communication and developing confidence. So let's look at the first one. It's extremely important. आप कोई भी भाषा में communicate करते हो, right? Anna Hazare doesn't, I don't think, speak English. There are so many orators, and the best orators in the world and best writers in the world. Not necessarily they are speaking only in English. आपको जिस भी भाषा में व्यक्तित्व व्यक्त करना है खुद को, एक अच्छा वक्तृत्व बनना है, so you need to have, उस भाषा में आपका प्रभुत्व होना बहुत जरूरी है. So in that language we have to have a very good command. Now, since most of you are working professionals, we'll talk about English, but not necessarily it is about English. But whichever language you want to communicate, either write or speak, we need to have a proficiency in that language. एक निपुणता होना बहुत जरूरी है. So let's look at कोई भी language हो, उसमें आपको grammar fundamentals पे mastery आना जरूरी है. You have to learn how to frame right sentences. You have to learn how to develop fluency. You have to learn how to enhance your vocabulary. You have to also learn correct pronunciation. If you see the way I'm speaking, anybody across the world can understand my English. That's called neutral English. So you need to learn correct pronunciation, and you have to speak in neutral accent. So these aspects you have to master in any language in which you want to communicate. Yeah, good with this? Okay, let's go to next one. The next one is extremely important and the most ignored one. ऐसा बोला जाता है कि what is the difference between hearing and listening? Okay, hearing is only being aware of what the person is speaking, and listening is listening with a lot of intention. So I'm going to share with you some very important tips and techniques that will help you to develop your listening skills. And a lot of our professionals, we've trained more than 350,000 professionals till date in English and communication. A lot of professionals who want to develop their listening skills have said that they want to learn how to develop their active listening skills. So here there are: listen always very attentively. Right now also in the webinar, are you listening with full attention, or your attention is on the WhatsApp message or something that your family member has said, or your attention is somewhere else? So listen with full attention when you want to be an effective communicator. So when you are having a conversation, repeat the keywords that the other person has said. That makes your conversation more effective. In between, you need to respond saying, "Oh, I understood. Oh, yes. Oh, I agree with what you say. Oh, it's interesting." So use words in between. Are you able to hear what I'm saying? Can I get some responses? I've got one or two private messages. Did you get? Are you able to hear? Yeah, I got one or two private messages saying that the voice is not clear. Okay. You can hear now. I'll just repeat this slide. Active listening skills. It's extremely important that you listen very attentively. So when you are having a conversation in a meeting, or one-to-one, or so, listen very carefully. Listening helps you to absorb the entire message and customize what you have to say. So that makes your communication very effective. Next technique is to develop listening skill is to repeat the keywords the other person has said. So if your manager has said, okay, I want you to do some research on this product, and you find the price of the product, you do this, you do find the specification. So you just interrupt and say, okay, Yeah, so you want me to do research on the product, fine, and pricing and this, right? I've noted this down. Also respond in between. It's a good idea to speak little bit in between, saying that yes, I agree. I'm making you respond continuously so that I know you're listening with attention, you're actively listening, and you're also participating with me. So you need to respond in between, saying, "Oh, I agree. Oh, yes, that's a very important point." So when somebody is speaking, a senior is speaking, or a colleague is speaking, make sure that you respond in between. Also, when you're having a face-to-face interaction, I'm looking at the camera and speaking, so you feel I am looking at you and speaking. Also, when you have a face-to-face interaction, always make sure that you're maintaining eye contact with the person who is speaking, right? This helps you to listen very carefully and absorb more information because there is lip movement happening and there is body language with which you are absorbing the information and also the words with which you are absorbing. So make sure that you maintain eye contact. It's a very good idea to ask some questions at the end, note the questions and ask questions at the end, or ask questions in between. Oh, I think what you said, I just missed about the name of the person you said. Oh, is this place called this or this? So it's a good idea to ask questions that will help you develop listening skills. Happy? Happy? Okay. So we are just on the second technique. Let's move to the third one. अगर मैं आपसे ऐसा बात करूं, hello, my name is Piyush Bhatia, right? I'm sure, I'm sure you will say that I don't want to learn communication, effective communication skills from you. It's extremely important that when you want to speak, and this is only about oral communication, when you want to speak, you speak with clarity. And for clarity, you need to make sure that your voice is absolutely clear. So there are four elements that make your voice very effective. And I'm going to share with you these four elements. But it's very important that you work on these four elements. And the first element is pitch, your voice level. Hello, 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 hello. So your pitch should not be too low. Your pitch should not be too high. So that's what is extremely important. Now, if you have to speak to in a one-to-one person, your pitch will be little normal. If you're speaking to a little bigger group, your pitch will be little high. And if you're speaking to a large group of people, you'll have a mic, so you don't have to really speak on a loud voice. But your voice should be audible. Ensure that your voice is audible. That will help you develop voice clarity. I'm sure you find it interesting that when I'm speaking, you are able to understand what I'm speaking. Now, your pace of speaking, the words per minute. So, on an average in India, we speak at around 150 words per minute. But at an international level, people understand only at around 100 words per minute. That is why when you speak to an international professional, let's say somebody from Europe or somebody from US, you tend to say, "Hello, my name is Piyush Bhatia, and I am the founder and CEO," like that. So you have to pace it down when you're speaking to international professionals because at international level, people understand at low pace. So if your pace is very fast, or if you're speaking at a very low pace, it doesn't bring clarity in your voice. So you need to work on your pace in case your pace or words per minute is too high or too low. And then comes the third and very important aspect of to develop voice clarity, which is pause. You need to know that you need to pause at certain times. When you pause when you're speaking in between, it it allows the person who is listening to absorb the information that you have shared. If you keep on speaking non-stop, the person is not able to absorb. So it's very important that you take the right pauses. It is said that pause is very dramatic. Pause can create magic. I'm going to very soon conduct a special session on how to develop voice, a special 2-hour webinar on how to develop a voice, and which is the most important part of developing a correct voice is voice modulation. There are four major benefits of modulating your voice. When I when you learn voice modulation, when you're able to modulate your voice, it brings in so much of clarity in your communication. First benefit of modulating your voice is you are able to stress on something that you think is very important. The second benefit of voice modulation, it makes your speech very interesting. If I speak on the same tone for a very long time, even for a minute or so, I'm sure you'll get distracted and you'll say, let me listen to something else. So a plain voice is very, very boring to listen to. So to bring clarity in your communication, you need to modulate your voice. The fourth benefit of voice modulation is it keeps the user and the listener engrossed, and it also helps you. The fourth benefit is it helps you to share your emotion in your speech. It emotionally connects the audience because you are modulating your voice. So you need to work on all these four aspects of to bring your voice clarity. Going good? We move to the next one, and here we go. Speech structure. Now, if you've seen the best of speakers across the world, best communicators across the world, or best reports, their blog articles that you've written, or videos that you've seen, there is a structure that they follow, and that's why they are called excellent communicators. So there is, you need to follow a very simple structure. Right now, I'm speaking broadly. You need to follow a very simple structure, which is, have the right opening. There are 7 different ways in which you can open your speech. You can say, "Hello, everybody. Nelson Mandela has said that education has the power to change the world. My name is Piyush Bhatia, and I am in the business. I am an education entrepreneur." So, this way, when you start, you're opening with a bang, opening with a quotation. You can start with a story. You can, open your speech with a quotation, a question, an interaction, or a shocking statistic like that. Okay. Then you have the main body, and then you have a clear closing. A closing can have a call to action saying that sign up here, do this thing, download this ebook, confirm a meeting appointment like that. So you need to make sure that when you're preparing a speech or we are writing a long report, your speech or your report has a broad structure which is opening, body, and closing. Lack of this will make sure that the whole message is got mixed. So this is the fourth speech structure technique that we have. Okay, I'm sure all of us are aware about that our body language is extremely important. What do we understand by body language? To be an effective communicator, it's extremely important that to understand that our body is speaking even when we are not speaking. The way we stand, the way we sit, the way we talk, the way we have the facial expressions that we have, the hand movements that we have when we are speaking in a meeting or in a presentation, or even in a networking meet, or even in a video call. Our body language is constantly communicating. That's why it's called body language. So there is Hindi language, English language, Marathi, Urdu language. So there is also a language called body language. Our body has a language of its own. The way we move our hands, it speaks a lot about us. So if you are slouching and sitting, it is already communicating to everybody in the room that you are very casual or you are in a casual mood. If you are standing straight and talking and doing the right hand movements, it is communicating that you are a confident person. It's extremely important to develop the right kind of body language. Now, how do you develop the right kind of body language? Is by observing yourself and observing others. It's extremely important that we watch so many videos these days, and there are excellent speakers that we see. So what is the body language that they are using? What is the body language that I am using? You need to compare and imitate and learn from other people's body language. Okay. Also use this mirror talk technique. Stand in front of mirror, maintain eye contact, and speak. Trust me, 5 minutes of mirror talk practice has transformed ineffective communicators to be most effective communicators, because this helps you to see your body language. When you look at your mirror image, you know that this is how I'm occurring to other people. Mirror is the only way you can know, if somebody else is looking at you, how do you occur, and you can immediately make corrections and improvements in your body language. So mirror talk, a 5 minute of mirror talk done once every day for 30 days can do, dramatic improvement in your body language and make you an effective communicator. Also, you can use, so another way, of course, is to use a video shoot. So all of us have a smartphone these days. Use video. And in this quarantine time, shoot your videos, stand up, sit down, make your videos, and look at your videos. You will learn so much from your own videos, and especially about your body language, that there'll be a remarkable improvement in your body language and make you an effective communicator. And it's very important to be an effective communicator is to grab opportunities to do public speaking. Wherever there is an opportunity, even at home, if you are there and if there are 6 or 8 family members these days, Prepare some speeches and speak in front of them. Speak in front of them. And make sure that you do corrections in your speeches. So, public speaking is an excellent way to be an effective communicator. Yeah, let's look at the seventh technique now, and which is usage of facts and figures. When you, and this I've shared with you earlier as well, using of facts and figures is extremely important for you to be an effective communicator. So, always make sure that you use the relevant data, the facts that are required, and facts that support what you're saying. I've already shared with you this. Facts that support what you are saying, and the statistics that are required. Okay, so using facts and figures as a technique itself will help you to bring in so much clarity and effectiveness in your communication. So dressing is जो कपड़े हम पहनते हैं, grooming is the makeup that you do, your hair, your accessories that you use, that is all comes under grooming. So your dressing and grooming communicates so much. To be an effective communicator, you need to know what is appropriate and you need to dress accordingly. So I'll just share with you a couple of pictures. You know, your dressing will communicate, in which situation you are, and you are creating the right impression. So this is a women's dress code and appropriate for different situations. Yeah, you would not wear a casual dress for an important meeting, and you will definitely not wear a business formal for a casual outing or picnic. Similarly, for men, you will definitely not wear a smart casual for a business meeting, and you will not wear a business formal when you are going out with your friends for partying. So it's extremely important that we use dressing and grooming to be an effective communicator. So always remember, the way to develop our dressing and grooming skills is to dress as per the occasion. Our dressing has to be neat, clean, and tidy. We need to be aware of the colors and the impact that can have. So dark colors, very dark colors can have a negative impact. Also, the colors of a dress should match the skin tone that we have. Also, we need to make sure that we are dressing appropriate in a particular situation. And also, it's extremely important also to prepare well in advance for dressing and grooming. Some of us have a habit of dekh lenge, time pe dekh lenge, but it doesn't work. We need to plan in advance because we want to be an effective communicator. Okay, that brings me to the ninth important technique to be an effective communicator, which is completeness. It's extremely important to complete a communication to create an impression that you are an effective communicator. So let's say you received a mail from your boss, a message on business WhatsApp from your manager, and you're not responding. So that is incomplete communication. So always make sure that you respond on time. You provide the entire information in one go. So generally what happens is, if you leave some blank spaces, as I shared with you in being specific, if you keep the blank spaces, then the information is incomplete. So make sure you provide the entire information in your communication, which is a oral communication or a written communication. Also, if there is some missing information, so to make sure that your information is complete, in case there's some missing information in what you have shared, add a line in the end when you're speaking or you're writing that there is some information, this information, I will provide it later. That completes your message. That makes sure that your communication is complete. It's not half, it's completed, complete information. Okay. So this is another technique that you can use to be an effective communicator. And the 10th technique is, make sure that your entire communication is error free. Be sure of the data, the references, the sources that you share in your communication. Double check the facts that are there. Right.